Alrighty, welcome to the stream. Episode 63 of Local to Global.
Episode 63.
Yep, and there's the stream, perfect.
Local to Global. Episode 63.
Just see it's actually working. Wait another minute or two and we'll hopefully get a few more people in. Then we shall begin. Anyway, I want to take a quick look at the history because it has been a few days since I've actually played, so I need to refamiliarize myself. I mean, it's all pretty straightforward. I kind of remember the storylines we've got going on at the moment. And of course, we've got WrestleWar, which is our sort of big 30-man battle royale anyway. We've got Tyler in the chat. Nothing much, bro. What's going on with you? Hopefully, I assume... I don't want to assume anything really, but you're probably not in Australia. Not many of my viewers are actually from Australia, which is interesting. These are our current storylines that we're going into today's live stream with. I mean, we got some good storylines. I really like this one. High flying to the top. Obviously, Spencer Edmund, one of our really old signings, to be honest. Kind of happy that we have him back as well. And obviously, High Flying Hawaiian is a very, very talented worker. This one's also pretty interesting. Of course, we've got the promise from Angry Gilmore to actually put over David Stone. I believe it's good for 2 matches as well. Yeah, 2 matches. But we only got 37 days left to actually use both of those. Galaplex, how you going, man? Good to see you in the chat. And we're about to kick off and start booking that Go Home show. There are a few other things I want to do on this episode. Obviously, we've got the 3 shows to run, but I also want to look at broadcasters in a little bit more detail because I think we're super close. If I go into it real quick here, we are super close to getting onto CBN, and of course, if you see in the main screen box here, our broadcasting deal with Ondem is in its final month. I'm not 100% sure if I want to leave it. I was kind of hinting towards that in that last episode. But honestly, looking through, there's not a lot of sort of commercial broadcasters, especially in Canada, that would be that much of a step up. And of course, then we lose all the worldwide coverage. But then, of course, I did kind of say that I'm happy to spend the money on our personal broadcaster and allow ourselves to, start broadcasting everywhere. Anyway, let's start advancing. We may as well. We've got 6 days until the Go Home show here anyway. A nice double shot coffee. I mean, it is 10 a.m. for me here in Australia, but I don't know. Couldn't sleep last night for some reason. It was a weird one. I'm quite tired. Gonna try and chug it down. Already feeling a little bit better, to be fair. It's amazing what a few sips of coffee can do. Give you that initial pick-me-up. Alright, so things I have to remember for this Go Home show. We have to 100% make sure that I do the women's exhibition angle, that whole sort of scenario that I was looking to do. And then we've also got to do... Well, I think what I want to do for that as well, I want to, straight off the bat, just implement Doc Hammond as the... I was kind of toying with the idea of making him the... Well, here's Laura Flame. That's really good to get her. Yeah, she'll come straight to the main roster. Definitely one of my favorites, Laura Flame. But yeah, I think I want Doc Hammond to just be in charge of the women's division for now. So I think we're going to have maybe a storyline with him as well, where he will eventually, find his way into the general manager role, primarily as a result of him doing well with the women's division. So I feel like that's a pretty good way of actually doing it. All right, Mountie Man. I mean, the fact that he's 42 kind of ruins him a little bit. I probably would have signed him if he was maybe 35, 36. All right, so let's just keep advancing. I'm not really too sure what else I want to do for this this go home show. Maybe an 8-man tag main event where I just put, I guess the 8 strongest workers we have in a main event together. Maybe apart from Logan and Maddie Faith. Because they're actually going to verse each other at WrestleWar for the world title, the unified world title. So I don't really think it's necessary, because they're not actually going to be in the WrestleWar match. It's literally going to be them two, obviously the other 30 that I deem worthy, and then obviously the winner of the WrestleWar match, that 30-man Battle Royale, will get a world title shot on the next night at Warzone. So yeah, I think we'll go with the top 8 guys that we have apart from Logan. All right, so we've got all of our women finally leaving their former companies to join us on their exclusive written contracts. And I think we're good to go. So let's just jump straight in. This WrestleWar show is going to be a little bit interesting to actually book, because obviously all of our storylines, they're kind of meant for Warzone. Obviously, the WrestleWar match itself will go for about 60 minutes. Anyway, got Amy St. James being brought before Wrestlers Court, and she's also got a small positive impact as a result of that. And then we got some more psychology passed on from Doc Hammond to Chip Martin, so that's perfect. And that is exactly the reason why I kept Chip Martin there on the main roster, just so he gets that that little extra boost to his stats due to his mentor being on the same roster, really. All right, obviously go home show going into Ottawa, and let's start booking. So this one's going to be, I say it's going to be interesting, but it's also going to be hard to kind of choose a winner for this match. Just having, all these guys in this actual main event. So I guess one team is obviously going to be Aldous, and then Aussie, Darkstein. They have to be on a team together. But I guess who would actually partner them? Now, we do have Jackpot there, but I think Jackpot will probably, it makes sense to put him on the opposite team, purely for the fact that they are currently feuding, Wall Street Enterprises, and of course, the Forces of Darkness. I guess I kind of see Mobstar as a heel as well, so maybe he goes on that team. This top team is more of the heel team, so we'll go with him, and then I guess maybe Gary Walker as well. Yeah, let's go Gary Walker in there as well. And then the other team can be Angry Gilmore, although I don't really want to use Angry Gilmore there, to be honest. But he'll team up with Davis as well. And then maybe Giant Brodie to round us off. Because like I said, I don't want to use Logan, I don't want to use Maddie Faith. We might actually have them have like singles matches on this show as well, just to warm them up, because they would need that type of warm-up match. Yeah, I think we'll just go with that. We'll go with Brodie to round off that match. I'm going to give it 20. I know Angry Gilmore's in there, so I kind of feel a bit sorry for the old bloke, but it is what it is, and he's just going to have to get over it, really. I think, I mean, in regards to a winner, I think it's got to be Mobstar. And honestly, I'm actually happy for Gilmore to lose. I don't really want to give Brodie another loss. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Although, you know what? We could actually give it to Jackpot. I think Jackpot, even just being in this match, is going to be really sort of beneficial for him. So we'll do that instead. You got Reese. How you going, man? Good to see you. Just starting to book the go home show here, and we're gonna kick the the first main event here is gonna be a big 8-man tag, just getting us ready. I guess for both storylines for Warzone, and then the top 8 guys apart from our world champion storyline as well. That'll be in that WrestleWar match, that huge 30-man battle royale. All right, so what else am I going to do for the show? I did mention that I was going to have a match for both Logan. So I think it makes sense for him to verse Charlie Corner, but I'm not sure if I did this recently. Oh, I've never done it. Okay, perfect. I mean, that's a huge match for Charlie Corner. Real big. Obviously, a non-title match there as well. Can't be giving Charlie a unified world title match. All right, and then I think we'll go Maddie Faith. And I'm not really too sure who he can verse. Maybe we're going to give Robin DeLay his debut in the WrestleWar match as well. So that'll be interesting. Let's go Shooting Star Perez. These are only warm-up sort of, I don't want to say squash matches because they're not actually a squash, but they're definitely not, you know, high-level opponents for these guys by any stretch of the imagination. All right, so there's that. What else do I want to do? We have some tags, you know, storylines as well. But we can't really do a whole lot with them either. Let's do a 6-man tag, and I want to have David Stone teaming up with Young and Wasted. And I think they're just going to verse the Disciples of Darkness. We'll chuck in Zombie Boy in there as well. I think that's a pretty good match, because we're really not doing too much with Disciples of Darkness at the moment. Or, I guess, Forces of Darkness as a... I mean, as a collective, we are doing something with them, but obviously these 3 guys not really featuring as much. And of course, we have to call this match due to Mr. Scatterbrain over here, Zombie Boy. So this will be interesting. Really kind of curious to see how that does. There's, what, 3 people in the match can't actually call? That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Anyway, what else can we do? I don't want to maybe do another 6-man or something like that. Purely just to take us into the Battle Royale. Let's see. Let's actually go a Fatal 4-way. This one's again, it's kind of a little bit weird. We're kind of just throwing it together a little bit. But let's have Hernandez take on Patriots. Sort of just maybe the mid-cards, upper mid-carders. Who else have we got? Let's throw in Spencer, and we might actually go High Flying Hawaiian. Potentially. I don't really see anybody else that's really, really standing out to me. Although we could give Robin his debut right now. Nah, we'll stick with High Flying. And who do I want to give the win to? That's an even more interesting question. I think I want to give it to Spencer, and I think High Flying to lose. And I want to... This will kind of be more of a foreshadowing for Warzone. But he's going to lose. It's going to be tainted, obviously. He's not going to get a clean victory over High Flying Hawaiian, but I guess it's going to put it just a little bit more pressure onto their match. And Hernandez, obviously, not too happy. Even though he's not taking the pinfall, that's pretty interesting. Good to see High Flying not actually complaining there. Very, very interesting. Alright, what else have we got to do? I mean, that's 5 matches right there. That's about all the time we really need to use in regards to match time. We'll do some pre-show stuff as well, and then I'll fix up the angles before we get into everything. So let's go Job Squad. They can just take on one of our random teams. Let's go the Puerto Rican boys, because they are currently our #1 contenders. They actually, I think they versed each other. No, they didn't. Okay. I thought they versed each other in the last episode. I guess not. Anyway, Kid San Juan will get the victory there. They need to try and build him up a little bit more as well. I believe we can call. Funny that the Job Squad, you know, being Robin and his name? Forgotten his name. How have I forgotten his name? Bowden. How did I forget Bowden's name? I mean, pretty good reason why I forgot his name, to be fair. Because they are jobbers. And then I guess we'll just go a women's tag match as well. Go for the Assassins, and they can take on Amy St. James and probably a better way of looking at this. Maybe Selena? Yeah, we'll go Selena. See, I don't really want these girls losing. I'm kind of... Honestly, I'm actually tempted to not even use Selena in this exhibition match and to go with Erin Gray instead. Honestly, I think she'll do a better job. She's got over 50 popularity as well, and she's super talented. Maybe not as much as Selena, but I don't know. That's a tough one. If I show you Selena here real quick, she's obviously a lot better in the ring, but it's just, you know, she just doesn't have the popularity in Canada, so I think I'm going to go with Erin Gray. I'm glad I kind of came to this sort of decision before actually booking the angle. So with that said, we're going to give the victory here in this pre-show match to Erin Gray. And I think, pretty sure we can actually call this one as well. I think everybody in the match is just about good enough, yeah. And I do really like this team. Erin Gray, Ellie DeGrazia, the Assassins. Good to actually get a proper tag team in our women's division pretty much from the get-go. Alright, let's do angles. What's our face team looking like? Yeah, we should be able to get a pretty good angle out of those 4, to be honest. Let's go for Jackpot, Angry Gilmore. Who else do we have? We had... how could I forget the GOAT? I almost feel bad for forgetting, like, Davis. He's our boy. And then finally Giant Brodie in there as well. So I think we'll script all 4 of these guys, because I don't really want anyone to mess up, if I'm being honest. So that actually looks like a decent angle, man. That really kind of looks good. That'll be pre-main event. I think I want to post a post-main event angle as well. But this one will be our sort of main, you know, unified world title storyline. I think... Actually, you know what? We'll go both on screen, because that just makes a little bit more sense that they would both come out to sort of end the show. And I think that's actually decent. All right, everything else doesn't really matter. I mean, we can go Maddie Faith onto Logan, maybe off screen. I really want to see if Maddie can get his angles back up, man, because they've seemed a little bit low recently, which is weird because, you know, his popularity has definitely sort of skyrocketed. So I find that very strange. Anyway, what are we going to do here? Actually, real question is, where do I guess I'll put it before the Logan match. Let's have Doc come out. If I can find him. And he's going to announce that Erin Gray will be taking on Debra Young at the pay-per-view in a women's exhibition match. And he also announces, let's type this in. So Doc Hammond is announced as the new women's. Actually, would he be announced? It's kind of an exhibition match. All right, let's make it Doc announces. Yeah. A women's exhibition match between Erin Gray and Debra Young. All right, that seems a little bit better. Because obviously, technically, in storyline terms, we don't actually have a women's division yet. You know, that the fans aren't really accustomed to what we're doing at the moment. So I think we need to also add a storyline in for that as well. Let's add new storyline. Let's just call it Women's Wrestling. In the Coalition. That makes more sense. Alright. So we'll go Doc. And then I guess we'll just go with Erin and Debra for now. But obviously, we'll probably throw in maybe one or two more women. Now, I decided not to. I mean, we could still maybe do it. But I think I actually want to work maybe towards the next pay-per-view in regards to making a women's title. I feel like just having zero build to it isn't really going to be very beneficial to the series as a whole. You got JD coming in as well. How you going, man? I've been pretty good. Definitely enjoying myself. Can't say, you know, I've got a bad life. I'm on holidays at the moment, so definitely enjoying myself. All right. Yeah, like I said, women's division. I want to actually build it up before we bring the title in a little bit. I think next month at the next pay-per-view is probably the best place to actually implement that title. Alrighty, so let's move that angle before the Logan Wolfsbane match. I then think I want to maybe go for a David Stone angle onto Angry Gilmore. And again, this is just, you know, following on from the promise that Angry Gilmore's actually given us to put him over. So passing of the torch storyline there as well. And that's perfect. But yeah, that can go before the next gen match. And that's pretty much it. So we might actually work the crowd with this one. It's I would say that's a pretty exciting Fatal 4-Way match. If I'm being honest. We need to make one of these. I guess this would be storytelling. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting with the calling in that match. Anyway, that looks pretty good for a go-home show. I'm actually pretty happy with that. And we're really trying to hype up that storyline between Logan and Maddie Faith. I like it. Alright, let's run it. Alright, we start off with a 61. That's actually pretty impressive. I feel like our women's division is already pretty decent. Like they're already like almost a mid-card level. And that's using Selena as well. And Selena has like 15 popularity. But we do indeed have the Assassins defeating Amy St. James and Selena Svelte in 1209 when Erin Gray submitted Selena with a guillotine choke. Like I said, Erin's going to be taking Selena's place, so I guess her winning in this match would kind of make sense. Anyway, that's pretty good for the pre-show, man. I'm happy. And the second pre-show tag match, we get a 63 rating. The Puerto Rican boys, the number 1 contenders, defeating Job Squad in 11:36 when Kid San Juan pinned Bowden Snoop with a moonsault press. Interesting. I thought it was just a moonsault for a second. But yeah, press in there as well. And then Island Boy, head and shoulders above everybody else. Robin was the weak link in the match. And Kid San Juan was really off his game as well. Interesting. Alright, we then kick off the show straight into Fatal 4-Way action. And we get a 69 rating from this one, despite actually keeping Hernandez strong. And I have to say, it's a bit of an upset. We have Spencer Edmund defeating Mainstream Hernandez, Mars Patriot, and High Flying Hawaiian in 11:46, when Spencer Edmund submitted High Flying Hawaiian with an elevated Boston Crab after blatantly cheating. Don't know how he cheated, especially in a Fatal 4-Way. You wouldn't really... I don't really see how you could cheat in that sort of manner in order to get a submission victory, but there we go. That'll kick us off, and it really does sort of put more pressure onto High Flying Hawaiian as a result of their current storyline together. So, I don't know, I just felt like that was kind of the right way to go about it. Because Spencer is, I guess, deemed the heel. He's definitely the heel in this storyline. And I guess it gives High Flying Hawaiian a bit of a redemption in their Warzone match. You know, obviously, they'll be versing each other in that WrestleWar Battle Royale. So their storyline will continue in that match. Well, you would assume it would. They'll have some sort of, action together. And then go into that Warzone match as well. Alright, we then go in... See, this is what I'm talking about. 84 rated angle from Matty Faith. Something about him just seems off. He's not reaching those, 90 plus rated angles at the moment. And I don't know why, to be honest. I really don't know why. Anyway, he comes out, continues his whole, keep the faith. It is my destiny to win the unified world title. I'm by far the hottest prospect going in the company. Just sort of maintaining the same thing he's been going on about for weeks, that Logan has kind of been trashing as well. And he'll do more of that trashing in the final angle on the show here. Like I said, man, not even an 85. It's a bit of a letdown. It's a bit of a letdown from Matty Faith. And, there was a good 2 months where he was just banging out consistent 90 plus rated angles. And like I said, since then he's only gained more popularity, so I don't really understand how that's happened. Alright, we then go into a pretty good match, considering it's, Shooting Star Perez. We get a 77 rating here. Matty Faith defeating Shooting Star Perez in 11:46 by pinfall with a leap of faith. Very good stuff there, man. The fact that Shooting Star Perez has 29 popularity and Matty Faith is actually lifting him up to a 77, despite only having he has below 50 psychology as well. That's a good good rating for Perez. Sure. Considering I wanted to actually send him down to OWC as well, the developmental. Happy with Matty Faith. 81 in ring, not too bad. Yeah, this one's a bit of a letdown as well. I want David Stone to just do a little bit better. But we get a 65 for his entertainment angle here, where he sort of confronts Angry Gilmore in the next-gen locker room. Basically says that, Warzone's coming up, and he's looking forward to taking on his sort of quote-unquote mentor in next-gen. And of course, Gilmore kind of said that he needs to prove himself, in order to be the true leader of next-gen and take the stable forward to into the future, really. Because obviously it is next-gen. And Angry Gilmore is 46 years old. So He wants David to step up and really prove that he's going to be that future star that carries the company forward. And as you can see, he did not do very well. Very poor when trying to improvise dialogue, and he also lost the storyline heat as well. Lovely stuff. Anyway, we move into Next Gen's match, which actually does well, considering 3 people in the match. You know, we called it, and 3 people don't have the required psychology to call a match in the ring. So 71's pretty good. It's actually a little bit surprising that it's that good. I thought it might have got like a 60. So, yeah, impressive. We do indeed have Next Gen, of course, David Stone and Young and Wasted. They defeat Forces of Darkness with Mutant, Sinner, and Zombie Boy in 11:36 when David Stone pinned Mutant. That's interesting. I probably should have made one of these two the loser. But you know what? I actually kind of like that. Because maybe we could run with a Next Gen versus Forces of Darkness storyline in the future, perhaps? Yeah, I didn't really think about that, but we could maybe do that and have a bit of a storyline between these two. Because I don't think David is ready to be pushed up to the main event scene just yet. I feel like he kind of needs a few more big victories under his belt. Obviously, starting with Angry Gilmore. But yeah, pins Mutant with a Stonecutter. Obviously, Original Sinner was the weak link. Only getting a 27. Typical fashion. We got Simclay coming in as well. How you going, man? Good to see you. But yeah, both Mutant and Sinner both off their games. I mean, Sinner, expected. Mutant, not so much. Not so much. And then we got the 3 sort of road agent penalty notes. Alright, this is the B angle of the show, in my opinion. We get a 67, which is actually pretty good, but it is only Doc Hammond being rated on entertainment. And of course, Doc has pretty good entertainment skills, hence why we're kind of making him the sort of women's... I don't know, what would we call him? The women's division manager? I don't know. The women's division consultant? That doesn't sound as good as manager, I guess. Is going to be in charge. That's what we're trying to say. Anyway, he announces a women's exhibition match, the first ever women's match, you know, on an actual pay-per-view. Obviously, we've had a lot of pre-show stuff, but the first ever women's match between Erin Gray and Debra Young, and that will be at... I think we'll go at WrestleWar, to be honest, because we kind of need the matches at WrestleWar. Women's Commissioner, that's exactly what I was thinking, Clay. But I just couldn't find the right word. Commissioner, that's what he is. And you might not have been here before, Clay, but I kind of want to... I'm going to start him off as the Women's Division Commissioner, with the hopes of him eventually finding his way into a promotion sort of area where he will eventually become the general manager of the coalition. So I feel like that's also a pretty good way to go about his progression in the company. I want to take him off being a manager because I don't really see him being a manager. But I get actually, you know what? We could maybe down the line also do a interesting little sort of power struggle, maybe where he actually is the manager. I guess similar to maybe the Authority. I know a lot of people didn't really like the Authority in WWE, but maybe something similar to that where he picks somebody like a Seth Rollins to, you know, push to the moon, essentially. That could be interesting. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to these two taking each other on. And Doc was superb working without a script to follow. Alrighty, we then go into a 77 rated singles match where we have Logan Wolfsbane defeating Charlie Corner in 12-16 by pinfall with a belly-to-belly suplex. What more can we say, really? 90 in-ring performance from Logan, our current Unified World Champion. Curious to see if he will retain. And yeah, Charlie was really off his game. A little bit unlike Charlie at the moment, though. I feel like that's the first time we've seen that, you know, seen him being off his game in months, really. I can't really remember the last time he was off his game. He has been very, very impressive recently. Anyway, it's fine. Still a 77, which is actually the same rating that Maddie Faith and Shooting Star Perez got. So I guess in that regard, both matches have been, I guess, a bit of a success, as sort of warm-up matches going into the pay-per-view. All right, we then go into the pre-main event angle, getting us an 83. I mean, the fact that it's scripted probably let it down a little bit, but at the same time, it's kind of playing it a bit safe, which we kind of needed to do. Anyway, it is sort of the face team here with a promo going into the main event. And of course, we have Jackpot Jordan, Angry Gilmore, The GOAT, Davis Wayne Newton, and of course, Big Giant Brodie out there as well. And they're looking to pick up a win and build some momentum going into the WrestleWar Battle Royale. The main event, it just does enough. I always say, well, it used to be 80 for the main events, but now I think 85 is kind of the minimum that I actually want to get. So the fact that we got an 85 for the Go Home Show main event here, I'm actually pretty pleased with that. Pretty pleased. And considering some of these guys, not the most over. Gary's got about 68 popularity, Brodie's on about 69, and then I think Jackpot's on about 67. So there are some discrepancy there. A little bit of discrepancy when you compare him to like Aldous, Mobstar. I mean, even Davis, I think, is about 84, 85 popularity at the moment. I mean, even Gilmore has 80, I think. So yeah. Anyway, in an exceptional match, apparently, we have Mobstar, Gary Walker, and Disciples of Darkness being Aldous and Aussie. They defeat Jackpot, Angry Gilmore, Davis Wayne Newton, and Giant Brodie in 20 minutes 30 when Mobstar pinned Jackpot Jordan with a flattener DDT. Yeah, it's a good main event. That's really good. Considering, like I said, who's involved? Had we left, a couple of these guys out and maybe put in Logan and Maddie, 90 plus probably wouldn't have really been out of the question, in my opinion. But yeah, very happy. Very happy with that storyline. But there are obviously storyline advances in here as well with Gary and Giant Brodie, and then we also got the advance here, I guess, for Jackpot. And he's, of course, taken on Aldous and Aussie Darkstein as well. And we finish off the show very strong. I'm happy to see that, man. Very happy. 100 rated angle to finish us off. And we have Logan Wolfsbane once again saying that Maddie Faith, he's starting to see the cracks in Maddie. He thinks that, Maddie keeps spouting off the stuff about his destiny. And Logan basically doesn't believe it for a second, and he kind of trashes it, like I said. And like he's been doing over the last couple of weeks as well. He says, there's no way that Maddie's going to win. Logan, in some regards, is already looking forward to versing the winner of the WrestleWar Battle Royale, because he feels like that is kind of a more deserving number one contender. And he thinks that Maddie Faith is a bit of a joke, the way he's been spouting off about people keeping the faith when nobody even really likes him. Pretty interesting way for Maddie Faith to go about things. But, in some other regards, he is also just being an arrogant heel, telling people to keep the faith, even though nobody actually likes him. Anyway, that's a really good show. I like that one. And so does the game, to an extent. We get an 86 rated show there for our Go Home show. I think is pretty good, leading us into the two big pay-per-views here for July. I like that. What do you guys think in the chat? Is it a pass? I think it's a pass. Maybe only just, but I think it was good enough, at least for the Go Home. All right. What do we got here? Yeah, so Ondem only has a week remaining. So what we're going to do before we get into the pay-per-views is we are going to look through broadcasters, which is something I wanted to do on this episode anyway. Oh, Miss American Pie retired. Oh, that's unfortunate. She would have been good to bring in as well. I mean, she is actually, I mean, I feel like she's pretty young still. She's only 37. Although she did pick up a medium concussion recently, so probably the reason why she retired. Anyway, she's pretty talented. I do like her. Anyway, we've got Maddie Faith with an opinion here. Better than most WWE go-homes. Yeah, I think it was definitely better. Even though I don't really like doing the tag team, the multi-man sort of tag team matches for a go-home show. But I feel like in this case, it does kind of work. Anyway, he thinks Bowden Snoop is turning into a good worker, and the kid is worth getting behind. Isn't that ironic? Or Bowden Snoop is a part of Job Squad. Anyway, we also have Angry Gilmore, and he is liking what he hears from Island Boy Apollo. There's money in his promos, if given airtime. I would agree with that as well. I think Island Boy definitely has a bigger future than, obviously, his tag team partner, Kid San Juan. Most women seem to retire late 30s in the C-verse. Ooh, it's not so good, maybe. Because I think Debra is, what, 36 now? Yikes. And I think we signed her to like a 4-year contract. Alrighty, we've got wrestling viewing figures. We've got a 3.68 TV rating there. I think that's only just below our highest ever. I think we got us 370. If I remember. Was that last episode? It might have been last episode that we got the 370. I can't remember 100%. Yeah, 370 for the 91 rated show. So we are pretty close to that. We are very, very close. What about CWA? They beat us by a fair bit as well. Getting a 92 rated TV show there. And a 99 rated women's main event. The probably two of the best women in the world, in my opinion. Definitely Brooke Tyler. I mean, a 99 in-ring. They finished in DQ, which probably not the best way to go about it either. And Sunny Wildside and Hank Gunn getting an 88. Not too bad. Let me just check that. How old is Debra? Okay, she's only 33. Alright, there's nothing massive to worry about. We've probably got her for at least another 4 or 5 years, hopefully. Alright, so let's look at some broadcasters, because actually let me look at popularity first. So we're 81 now in Quebec, which is massive. 79 in Manitoba, 66 in Saskatchewan. So we're only 11 points away from having the 4 regions that we need. Obviously, Alberta, the 5th region, will be our final region that we need to go to big size. But honestly, that's not that far away. It's only, what, 16 points? Like I said, I reckon we can probably get that 16th point in the next, at least by the end of 2024. So, by the start of 2025, we might be big. So I guess if I think about that, we probably want to be focusing on maybe only getting a 6-month TV contract or broadcasting contract or anything like that. Now, CBN was, I guess the first thought, really. As you can see, CWA is on there, but I think we'll have, obviously, a conflicting schedule, so maybe we don't go with CBN. We don't actually have the popularity, because you need 45 in all the regions, and I think we're currently 44. Yeah, we're 44 in the Maritimes, so that's unfortunately out of the question. However, there are a few other medium-sized broadcasters in here as well, if we go down. So we got ICTV, which we can get on straight away. But they're neutral wrestling. They are high risk, but it's also neutral. Didn't mean to click out. But then we also have Maple Leaf Sports, which is also a commercial terrestrial. But they're pro wrestling, and they're all sports broadcast style as well. And as you can see, TCW are actually on there for their current TV show. I'm kind of thinking that would be the best option that we have at the moment. Kind of makes the most sense, I guess, as well. We're actually not even that far off net stream because you only need 10 regions, but that's also net, internet subscription. Yeah, it's a tough one. We're also going to go on to Premier Pay TV for Canada as our pay-per-view carrier. As you can see, SWF are on there. We can get on there as well with big pay-per-view, coverage as well, which will be very, very decent. Extra money, and of course, extra eyes on the product. But apart from that, there's really nothing else. I mean, there's USA Sports 1, but you have to be based in the USA, so we're kind of out of the question for that one as well. There's really not a lot. There's GNN Total Sports, but we're also kind of a little ways away from that as well. Kind of just some of the American regions. And then, of course, CBA need to be big size, and there's 15 regions, so also kind of out of our sort of spectrum. I mean, we have a very big free-to-air channel, but obviously free-to-air, you don't get any income, any commercial income. And then there's this one as well. But again, you need big size. So I think we would have the popularity for that as well. 15 regions, 55 popularity. And it does include Mexico. So this might be the one we go out of in the future once we get up to big size. Not 100% sure, but maybe that's what we go for. Although CBA would be better, wouldn't it? Definitely want CBA. Alright, well, what do you guys think? Maple Leaf Sports? I think Maple Leaf Sports is probably the one we want to go for. The home of hockey in Canada. Just have to wait for our current TV deal to expire fully. But I think they're the ones that I want to go for. Let's actually have a quick look at the US as well. Because obviously, we're going to lose coverage in the US from OnDem as well. I mean, we're actually not that far off from Ace Television there. The thing with the US, it's actually going to be relatively difficult because we don't have the required popularity in some of the regions that we need to. That one's free to air. Yeah, see, most of the regions require, well, most of the broadcasters require, popularity in 10 regions, which means you have to kind of count either Puerto Rico or Hawaii. And that just makes things, more difficult. Definitely makes them more difficult. As you can see, another 10 region. And that would be a really good pay-per-view provider as well for us to get onto. What about Sports America? Must be based in USA. USA free choice there as well. Would be another really good pay-per-view broadcaster. Honestly, Ace Television's probably the only real one we could go for, to be honest. And even for that, we need 65 popularity in 8 regions in America. How far away are we from that? We've got a few 60s now, which is really good. We also got 70 in the tri-state, that seems crazy. But there we go. So, was it 8 regions? Already forgotten. That's how good my memory is. Yeah, so 8 regions, 65. We're only like 5 points away, really. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, I mean, all those regions, they're pretty close to Ace TV. Very, very close. If we got on Ace Television, we're pretty much set for the US in regards to, a proper commercial broadcast for our TV show. The only downside is we're essentially going to lose out because we're not going to have a broadcaster in the US apart from our own personal broadcaster. So in saying that, unless we go with somebody else that's either small, I don't think there's anyone that's medium that we can actually go on at the moment. Unless we stay with Ondem, but I really don't want to do that. Anyway, let's not think about that right now because we still have a few days left. How many days we got? We have 1 week, and then it expires. So that will actually get us into next episode. So we don't actually have to worry about it this episode. Let's just get into Wrestle War. Looking forward to this show, man. I'm looking forward to it. The big battle royale, 30-man to determine the number 1 contender for Warzone. Honestly, I haven't even thought about who's going to win the match. Obviously, there are some standouts. Pretty obvious. There are a number of obvious choices as well. But yeah, just not 100% sure who I want to win. And I guess we're going to book it on the fly. Maybe you guys could give me a hand or two. Who would you want to win the Wrestle War match? How much it would be to break a deal? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't really want to break the deal with Ondem. I know. Obviously, it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. They've been good to us, and I kind of just want. Let's let the deal run out. I feel like that's a good way of going about it. Anyway, Alan Gray, referee for CWA. Yeah, not exactly good enough, is he? And poor GSW. They have been declared bankrupt, so they've gone out of business. Interesting. Their monetary things have actually disappeared. I mean, King of California tournament actually looks pretty prestigious there. I really like that GSW American Champion as well. Of course, that is their main level title. Oh, I guess we can't actually buy them anymore. Okay, never mind. I guess we won't worry about them too much. All right, what else? Anything else we need to do? I don't think so. I think we're pretty much good to go. Let's just get into it, I guess. Wrestle War, here we go. Alright, this time, obviously the last pay-per-view episode, I literally messed up and we only broadcasted onto one network. Definitely not going to make that same mistake again. There we go. All 3 are selected now. Save selection, and there we go. I bet a few of you were thinking I was just going to go straight in and do the exact same thing I did, in that last episode or 2 episodes ago. Anyway, we've got LA Star 2 lifting the locker room, playing a silly game that became very popular. And then we got Wrestlers Court here for Rock and Ryan Turner as well. And we have a small positive impact as well as a result of that. So there we go. There were a few comments in the last episode that kind of told me to maybe do an open forum. And as you can see, if you read here, it does give a small penalty to the locker room atmosphere. And obviously there needs to be at least 3 unhappy workers. I don't think I want to do it. I don't really want to ruin our backstage rating. It's at 100%. I know these people are negative influences because they're all currently unhappy, but not really that worried about it. The thing with their morale issues, most of them are minor. The only bad ones is obviously Kavanaugh, and then both Maddie Faith and Princeton Price. But what I think I'll do for this show, obviously we're going to praise Maddie Faith and Princeton, I might even go Kavanaugh as well. Although I'd probably prefer Giant Brodie, actually. I really don't care about Kavanaugh being unhappy. What happens to the winner of the Rumble? The winner gets the title shot in the main event of Warzone the next night. So whoever wins essentially goes straight into a world title match against the winner of Maddie Faith and Logan Wolfsbane on this next show, on this show here on WrestleWar. Because they're going to be the main event for the Unified World title, and then whoever wins that will defend against whoever wins the Battle Royale. So what I'm going to do real quick, we're going to go black screen here real quick. And let me book this main event here without any spoilers. So it's going to be Logan taking on Mr. Maddie Faith. Let's see if Maddie Faith's actually got 89 popularity now. I think he's even higher than he was recently, really. I remember him being 87, but I don't remember him being 89. So there we go. Anyway, it's going to be open, called, slow built, decisive. And our winner is going to be this person that you cannot see. Alright, so Unified World title on the line, Ed Monton. And there we go, it's booked. Alright. That's the main event. Obviously, I want it to be a little bit of a surprise. So, obviously for the Battle Royale, I'm happy to show you guys. And we'll book it together. So, 30-man lottery. As I think lottery just makes a lot of sense, really. And then we're pretty much going to add in everybody that is a decent worker. So Brett Kyle, chuck in Charlie Corner there as well. Obviously David Stone, Davis Newton, Gary Walker, Giant Brodie, Graham Gorman. They're all going to go in as well. Didn't put Brodie in there. Pretty much everybody of note is going in this match. Yeah, we'll throw in Jack Jackson. And like I said last episode, because we have Forces of Darkness taking on Wall Street Enterprises. However, if one member of Wall Street Enterprises wins this Battle Royale, they will essentially not be versing Forces of Darkness for obvious reasons. And the obvious reasons are they don't want to be corrupted by the darkness. Anyway, Hernandez is going in there. Patriot can go in. Hawking can go in as well. Haven't really used Hawking very much. Kavanaugh. I'll wait and see on Kavanaugh. But Mobstar is definitely going to go in. Mutant can go in as well. Darkstein. Who else? I want to make sure I get everybody of actual note. So, yeah, Robin DeLay is going to go in, make his debut as well. Which is going to be, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool way to debut. We go Spencer, Stevie P, Taylor Norton. And then I guess throw in Zeus as well. And we've still got 5 more spots. So, Kavanaugh will go in. Maybe Papa Swole. And maybe Kid San Juan. Let's throw in Papa Swole. I did put Charlie. Okay. Yeah, we'll go Papa Swole. Maybe the LA Stars. Robin DeLay as Iron Man. That's actually a pretty good idea. We got Jack Jackson. Maybe we throw in Cooper Christie as well. Just to make up the numbers. Who else? Yeah, we'll go Kid San Juan. And then why can I not put Princeton Price in? Or can I? I guess I could. I guess it's because he's annoyed. I don't know. I don't know why his name's actually read there. But I think that's everybody I want, to be honest. Looking through real quick. Oh, do I have Spencer in there? Yeah, I do. Okay, perfect. Oh, he's injured. That's why he's red. Okay, fair enough. I'll take him out then. And in his stead, we'll go with... I honestly don't know. I don't want to put in one of the LA stars. That kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. I kind of want them to not even be in the match, if that makes sense. Because I guess the storyline behind that would be they're really focusing on the tag team title defense. I guess the only other one that makes even a little bit of sense is maybe... I don't know, actually. This is a tough one. I literally have everybody that I want in the match already in there. I could maybe put in Chip Martin. Maybe Public Enemy. Isono? Yeah, Isono works. Thank you for that, Clay. Alright. That looks pretty good. Isono deserves it as well. Always overlook him, always, and I don't know why. I would like to go 60 minutes for this. I think he can for Battle Royales. Not 100% sure, but who's the winner going to be? Who is going to verse the winner of the world title match on this show? Well, on the next show, but you guys know what I mean. Honestly, have no idea who to actually give it to. I probably should have maybe thought about it in a little bit more detail. But you know what? I think it makes sense. Let's go with Aldous. I think Aldous deserves it. And I guess what we'll do, we'll make the runner-up. This is going like full storyline circle. Aussie Darkstein will be the runner-up. I guess we'll have two other finalists. Let's go Davis and let's go for Mobster. Most eliminations can go to, I guess, Brodie. Sort of like a Kane Big Show, eliminator, if you will. And then, like Clay said in the chat, let's go for Robin DeLay as an Iron Man. And maybe he comes out first. That would be a interesting little side note. Making his debut, coming out at number 1. I feel like that'd be really cool. But yeah, I mean, overall, I really, really like that match. And I think, yeah, as you can see, you don't get any penalties as a result of the Battle Royale. So you can essentially use as much time as you want for those workers. We've got guys like Charlie Corner in there as well. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, up next, we need the women's exhibition match. Let's go with Erin Gray and Debra Young. 12 minutes, and the winner is indeed going to be Debra. I just think with this one, I need to book Debra really strong. Because she is kind of the bigger worker, or probably the biggest worker in our women's division. She's 245 pounds and a muscular middleweight, which is, a decent size for most of the men out there as well. And as you can see, she's a powerhouse with 71 power and pretty good toughness in there as well. And she's a brawler, so she's a bit of a badass. Obviously, Erin Gray is toned, but she's only a lightweight and more of a technician as well. So there we go. That's actually a pretty good women's match. That should do well. That should do well. I think we'll kick off the Battle Royale as our first match. Now comes the question of what we do with the rest of the show. And I'm not 100% sure what we actually do with it, because pretty much everyone's already being used, apart from the LA Stars. I guess we could maybe do something else. Let's see who's left. Yeah, there's not a lot left, but I guess we could essentially double book people. I'm not sure if I want to do that though. What we will do, let's have LA Stars take on the Rock City Stars, I guess. Bit of a tune-up match for the pay-per-view as well. On-title. But obviously, neither of these teams are involved in the WrestleWar match itself. And yeah, we'll go decisive with that. Non-title as well. Actually, that can be our storytelling, I think. We've still got a fair bit of time left. Although, realistically, I could pretty much just book angles now and we just run with this show. But let's at least get 5 matches in. Obviously, we're using 60 minutes for the opening contest. What else have we got left? We could maybe go the Northern Lights and Disciples of Darkness. Actually, you know what? Let's go a Fatal 4-Way tag team match. And we're just going to throw in the rest of the tag teams. So, Disciples of Darkness 5. Let's go Red, White, and Blue. The Northern Lights. And we'll go Los Hermanos. We'll go Los Hermanos 3 with Gonzalez and Cavalera. I might actually make this the storytelling instead. And I think we might actually go with Disciples of Darkness to get the victory here. Yeah, I think we will. So Zombie Boy, you're going to get the win. Again, we're going to have to call this match, which is a little bit worrying. Let's go Tainted as well. And maybe this can be like a #1 contenders match. Alright, only 2 penalties there, so that's actually not terrible. Seems like everybody's being overused, because it's a 12-minute match, but there we go. That kind of fixes it up a little bit. I think that'll do us, to be honest. We'll do some angles as well. We might even start the show off with like a 3-man angle. We have a backstage run-in prior to 3 of the members coming out for the WrestleWar match. But I think overall that's pretty good. Now, what's our penalty here? So Monton and Stones. Will that fix it? Yes, it will. Okay. Let's make this one a regular match again. And let's do some angles. So, I think that the 3 men we want to have a run-in with is Mobster, Aldis, and Davis. So all 3 of these guys together. I mean, on paper, that's an angle. That is an angle and a half. I mean, I don't think any of them are in storylines together, so obviously their success doesn't really matter. That's an interesting backstage run-in. And of course, all 3 of those guys are in the final 4, so it works out pretty well. Up next, let's just go with an LA Stars angle. I think that's this makes sense, just to hype them up going into their Warzone title defense. Nice and easy. Do we go Erin Gray with an angle? She can speak pretty well. Probably one of the best, entertainment workers we have in the women's division. Do I write out? Sometimes I write out my shows, JD. This one, no. Sometimes I just prefer sometimes to book things on the fly. I feel like it just comes to me when I'm looking at things. And I don't know, it seems to work. Sometimes I do. Obviously, I write out my storylines in regards to who I want to be versing each other and that type of stuff. But I mean, when it comes to booking, I just get straight in there and go. I don't know if it's good or impressive, but it's just what I do. All right, what else we got? So Erin Gray by herself. You enjoy how quick I book on the fly? Takes you 30 minutes to do. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, more or less I am booking over the course of about 15 to 20 minutes. So it's not that fast. And generally I have at least a little bit of an idea of what I want to do in my head. All right, let's go with that angle. I mean, Erin Gray's unscripted, but hopefully she will be able to do enough. Yeah, as you can see, Debra's just lacking a little bit in the entertainment department. Probably enough to do scripted promos for herself. But apart from that, yeah, there's really not a lot about her apart from her sort of in-ring talent. And then I guess for the main event, Logan's just doing so much better. Let's go with Logan, and we'll have Maddie once again be off screen. I feel like that's the only way that we're sort of guaranteed to get a 95 plus rated angle out of these guys, because Maddie just he can't do it at the moment. I don't know why, but he just can't do it. Been struggling with these angles, and I don't know why. Really a bit of a letdown as well. There is that's WrestleWar. That is WrestleWar, fully booked, and we are ready to go. I will add a couple of pre-show women's matches, I think. Let's go a singles match for... Actually, I guess we'll just go 2 singles matches. Alright, so Amy St. James can verse Selena Svelte. And I think I want Selena to win, even though obviously Amy has more popularity. We want to try and build Selena up because she's going to be kind of the feuding competitor in our... Oh, she's furious about it. I find that so interesting. She only has about 15 more popularity. Yeah, I don't like the multi-man matches. I do like them. I just don't like them as main event matches. Obviously, you said go-home shows there, play, but honestly, I don't like them as any sort of main event, even on TV shows. Maybe a tag match at the most, but yeah, definitely the 6-man, 8-mans. They don't feel right. But you have 3 or 4-man tags every TV show in TCW. Yeah, I don't know. See, TCW can probably get away with it because their talent is just overwhelmingly good. But for us, I feel like we only have maybe 6 real, top main event talents. Whereas TCW, you probably have 10 plus, probably. Anyway, let's keep her strong, I guess. And to keep I did air raid. Oh. I wanted to do Amy. My bad. And Amy. Amy's complaining as well. Okay. Well, still unhappy. Really? Okay, well, with that being said, let's actually borrow someone. Who do we want to borrow? Let's go with... Maybe... Yeah, we'll go duplicate. Borrow her up. I guess we'll borrow up someone else. Maybe Yvonne? Yeah, let's go those 2 women. And then I want to see if Yvonne will actually job out to... Where is she? Selena. She also has more popularity, which I find interesting. Although she is down in developmental, so she should be jobbing because that's literally what I want her to do. If she doesn't, she might never find her way onto the main roster. Quincy, and we need Gilmore. Okay, so she'll job out at the same level of popularity as well. I don't get it. Anyway, do we have enough women for a tag team match? We do. We do. Let's go Air Raid and Amy, and they can take on Duplicate and Ellie. I don't really want Ellie to lose. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We'll go Air Raid Siren for the win. Actually, we'll make the loser Duplicate as well. Obviously, the enhancement talent from the developmental company. Yeah, we'll go Dace. I think Dace was actually unhappy because we left him off the last pay-per-view. And now that's Gilmore. You can actually use Kavanaugh now as well because he's actually being used on the show. Anybody left for a match? There are a few people. Oh, Simclay coming in and subscribing with the Prime. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Really appreciate that. You're actually the first subscriber on the Twitch channel. I actually forgot to change that because I've changed the follower. If anyone wants to follow right now, you'll get a nice little surprise. But I forgot to change the subscriber one. Yeah, unfortunate. But I appreciate it, Simclay. I really do appreciate it. Alright, what else have we got? So, Shooting Star Perez. And maybe Jack Pride. Yeah, we'll go Jack Pride. I was gonna go maybe go Willie LaRue. Actually, you know what? We'll do a 6-man for the pre-show. So Jack Pride, Perez, and Willie LaRue can take on Job Squad and the Forgotten Man, Zippy Deverell. Poor Zippy, man. The tag team that ended. He's a former tag team champion. Do not forget that. But definitely forgotten. As far as a winner goes, let's go Perez. I was kind of impressed with him, even though he lost to Maddie Faith. Still managed to get a 77 in that go home show. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, I think we're ready to run WrestleWar. Really, I'm curious to see how the Battle Royale actually does. It'll be interesting. Anyway, let's run the show. All right, we start off with a 51 rated pre-show match. We actually have good chemistry as well. Good to know. But we have Selena Svelte defeating Yvonne Eriks in 11:36 by submission with a prawn arm lock. Also, 50,000 sellout. Probably should have selected the arena, but anyway, we sold out the Toronto Olympic Stadium, which you can't really see because of my my webcam up there. Anyway, Selena and Yvonne have pretty good chemistry, lifted the match. And I mean, a 51's not terrible, considering there's really low popularity in this one, and Yvonne, not the greatest wrestler in the world either. All right, we then go into a 50 rated 6-man pre-show. Essentially a lower mid-card match on the pre-show here. We have Primetime Jack Pride, Shooting Star Perez, and Willie LaRue defeating Zippy Deverell and Job Squad in 12:13 when Shooting Star Perez pinned Bowden Snoop with a Shooting Star Press. I mean, it's a good jobber match. Good, like I said, lower mid-carders. And, yeah. I mean, a nice little win there for Shooting Star Perez as well. And then finally, it's actually our lowest rated match on the pre-show. We get a 47 tag team match between the women here. Air Raid Siren and Amy St. James defeating Duplicate and Ellie DeGrazia in 11:49 when Air Raid Siren in Duplicate with a top rope leg drop. And obviously Duplicate there, the weak link. But that's perfectly fine because she's in developmental. Alrighty, we then kick off the show with a 96 rated angle. Kind of hope that it might break 100, but you know what? It's to kick off the show, kick off the pay-per-view, and we have what you would assume is the top 3 for tonight's Battle Royale, and that is Mobster, Aldous, and Davis. They all run into each other backstage. Obviously, they're all stating their case as to why they would be the winner and the future #1 contender going into the Warzone show tomorrow night. I mean, yeah, nothing really too out of the ordinary there, apart from maybe all this just being strange. But yeah, happy with the 96. And here we go. The WrestleWar Battle Royale. Okay, it's not bad. 81. I mean, when you think who's actually in the match, it's okay. It kind of makes sense. But we get an 81 rated Battle Royale, 30-man. And we have Aldous Blackfriar winning the Battle Royale in 60 minutes, 19 seconds. The other 4 members of the other final 4 members were Aussie Darkstein, Davis Wayne Newton, and Mobster. So the other 3 that were involved in that previous angle. And we had Aussie Darkstein being the final elimination. So the way that would work in the storyline and what we've kind of been doing over recent times is it would be it would get down to the final 2. So Aldous, Aussie, there might have been a little bit of sort of contention when it went to that final 2. Obviously, Aldous was kind of saying, you know, let me eliminate you. You know, I'm the leader of Forces of Darkness. It's time to go. And, you know, I need to become the #1 contender. Aussie was a little bit hesitant. So there are some question marks about how corrupted or how corrupt his, you know, soul and mind actually is by the darkness. It might not be all the way. You know, his name might have changed. He might have aligned himself with Forces of Darkness, but there was a hint of the old Goldstein in there as well. You know, when it came down to it, potentially a world or unified world title match on the line, it kind of, you know, he was kind of twitching at it a little bit. Just maybe feeling as if he potentially deserved that opportunity. But in the end, the darkness sort of fell upon him, even though he was maybe confused. Aldous essentially throws him out of the ring anyway, and we have our new #1 contender, who will verse the winner of Maddie Faith and Logan Wolfsbane at the pay-per-view at Warzone, which is our next pay-per-view. 81. It's not terrible, but it's also not great. I was hoping for maybe an 85. As long as it's over 80, I'll be, you know, I was happy with it. All right, we then go into a 71 rated angle from the LA Stars. LA Star 1 doing a masterful job improvising. And yeah, LA Star 2 actually improvising pretty well throughout the segment. So that's not too bad, because I think one of them has pretty bad entertainment skills. I think it might be number 2, but I'm not 100% sure there. Either way, I'm happy with the 71 for our current Coalition Tag Team Champions. They go into a very, very decent match. Wow. Didn't expect this one to get a 76. Yeah, that's strange. I mean, to be fair, they are the current Tag Team Champions. I shouldn't really, you know, expect less of them. But this is above expectations quite a bit. And yeah, we have the LA Stars defeating the Rock City Stars. Pretty similar names there. In 12:08, when LA Star 2 pinned Stan Manor with a flying flip neck breaker. What an interesting finisher that is. How would he actually do that? Yeah, that would be interesting. Maybe he does like a springboard flip into a neck breaker. Let's imagine that's his finisher. A springboard into he does a flip and then lands in a neck breaker. I guess similar to maybe a springboard 360 cutter. I don't know. it sounds pretty cool on paper. 80 is great for a battle royale. Yeah, I think the 81, you know, obviously I always want my matches to just do that little bit better. The fact that it got 81, I think is above 80 is respectable. So, yeah, we'll take it. Anyway, 76 for this tag match. Again, it's more just a bit of a warm-up for the LA Stars. We then move into a 57. Erin Gray here, the first sort of women's promo for the coalition here. Unfortunately, Erin Gray struggled when going off script, but basically she says that she's one half of the Assassins and she's looking to take out her opponent tonight and to win the first ever women's match on Coalition, in the Coalition, I should say. 57's actually still pretty good when you consider that she struggled. I mean, if that was scripted, it might be above a 60, so positive signs already. And like I said, you know, I've said it many times now, a big fan of Erin Gray. You know, in the ring, and she's probably our best promo for our women's division as well. That's a very good match. Wow. That's impressive. Get a 69 rated women's match. The first one that is not on the pre-show. The big exhibition. And we do have Debra Young defeating Erin Gray in 12:21 by pinfall with a sit-out powerbomb. Solid finisher from the powerhouse Debra Young there. A 69. Kind of just wish that was a 70 just to get that green text. I don't know. It would look so much better. So much better. Even though 69, and you look at the in-ring performances, that's well booked, man. Really, really well booked. Got a 59 from Erin and a 58 there from Debra. And a 69 overall, that's more than 10 points. Essentially, when you round up both of their in-rings. And Debra was even penalized for... How was she penalized for stamina? It was a 12-minute match. Oh, that's going to be the next issue we run into. But realistically, they're not going to go over 10 minutes. Well, over 12 minutes. This was 12 minutes. Maybe I should keep Debra to 10. I just like 12-minute matches. What can I say? Anyway, very, very happy. I think we're just pop-based. Like, I think it's like 55 to 45. So pop at 55, in-ring at 45, JD. So it's very, very close. But yeah, I think this is, well, it's obviously above my expectations. And I'm very impressed. I think we'll definitely have a women's match on the Warzone show as well. So fair play to the women. All right, we then move into a 57 Fatal 4-Way number 1 contenders match for the tag titles, where we have Disciples of Darkness 5 beating Red, White, and Blue, the Northern Lights, and Los Hermanos 3. In 9:46, the order of elimination was Red, White, and Blue first, then the Northern Lights, and finally Los Hermanos. So yeah, our new tag team title number 1 contenders: Zombie Boy, Original Sinner, Disciples of Darkness 5. These guys, they're kind of the old boys in our tag division. Actually, that would probably go to Los Hermanos, considering they're also former tag team champions. But yeah, I don't know. It's Disciples of Darkness's time. I want to push them as a pretty dominant stable. We're also going to bring in the 6-man, or the... Yeah, I mean, I guess they're called 6-man titles. Trios titles, if you will. So they'll probably be competing for those somewhere down the line with their, the Forces of Darkness stable. Anyway, 57's actually pretty good, considering who's in the match. I mean, it's primarily all lower mid-carders, apart from maybe Zombie Boy, who has like 50, 55, 56 popularity, somewhere around there. Yeah, overall, good match. And our new number 1 contenders. So that'll actually be defended, not at Warzone, because obviously we've got the Puerto Rican boys versus the LA Stars. That'll be defended at August, the August pay-per-view. And of course, the match was also called. All right, we go into the pre-main event angle, getting a 100 rating. Logan Wolfsbane, what can we say? Current Unified World Champion. Absolute beast. By far the most over worker in the company. Hopefully, he wins this title match. Because if he doesn't, we have Maddie Faith as champion. Especially with his angles recently. Might not do too well. Anyway, 100's very, very decent. Here we go. The main event. Please be good. I would love a 90. A 90 would be perfect. Oh, so close. So close. 89 rated main event here. 1 point away from what I wanted. But you know what? I'm still pretty happy with it. But once again, we have the psychology penalty down here, which has been a very, very common issue to the last few pay-per-views, really. Of course, both matches between Logan and Mobstar got these penalties, and of course, obviously one of them rated at a 98, and then that steel cage match last month was at an 88. So yeah, this psychology penalty is really, really starting to bug me a little bit, because it's just preventing us from essentially achieving those real, high 90s rated main events. But we do indeed have Logan Wolfsbane defeating Maddie Faith in 2030 by pinfall, a belly-to-belly suplex. And we have Logan Wolfsbane making defense number 2 of the CWC Unified World title. So Logan retains. Very good contest. And obviously, the destiny of Maddie Faith has not come true. His proclaimed self-destiny and the faith that he wanted everybody to put into him. Obviously, we're gonna run with a little faith for Maddie Faith angle following this match. But yeah, overall, that's a good match. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good match as well. Anyway, 88 is that's a very decent pay-per-view, but I kind of wanted 90 plus. 88's it's respectable. It is respectable. I don't think it actually increased our popularity though for Ontario. What popularity are we? We're very high. Anyway, gonna go for Giant Brodie for some praise. Maddie Faith. Hopefully we can finally get rid of these morale issues. And then who was... We could go Kavanaugh. I wanted to go Princeton Price, but obviously he was injured, so we didn't actually use him on this show. I know Robin Newman. Actually, you know what? Let's go Dace. Yeah, the referee. Oh, actually, we didn't use Dace, did we? I think we did. We not? Yeah, we did. Yeah, Dace is also pretty unhappy. So we'll praise those three. You know what? We'll take the 89 for Maddie Faith, because Maddie actually doesn't have... Oh, yeah, that's a good point, Clay. Because of those morale issues. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's frustrating, because it would have got the rating that I actually wanted it to get, that 90. You're right, if he was happy and didn't have those bad morale issues. Damn, that's frustrating. That's definitely frustrating. But our viewing figures, we've got a 3.12 TV rating and a pay-per-view buy rate of 0.81. So just over 400,000 buys. I think that's pretty impressive. This month is going to be... Ooh. CWA just signed Marie Punnan. She might have actually been a decent signing for us as well. Pretty good in the ring. Lacking psychology, but decent star quality. So they're trying to re-sign all workers for their women's division, which in some regards is actually pretty good for us. There is some other things I wanted to do this episode. Obviously, we've still got the Warzone show to do as well. But there was one worker that I wanted to try and sign. A women's worker, but we have to essentially ask her to come and work in Canada, which will be a bit of a problem. Let's check the size real quick. So we are 86 still in Ontario. Like I said, we're going to need a really, really good show to try and increase that to 87. Maybe it will be Warzone, because Logan Wolfsbane taking on August Blackfriar to the unified world title. That's a possibility of getting another 98 or above, potentially. Let me have a quick look at actually their popularities. So Logan's at 96. I believe he was already there. No, he was 95, so he's actually gone up another point. Gone up one more point of popularity, which is ridiculous, but it is Logan. We knew, or I knew, that he was going to reach these sorts of levels. And looking back on it, I think him signing with TCW way back in the day, early in the series, was actually a really, really good thing to happen. But let's check all this as well. What? All this is 98 popularity. What? He gained 4 points. I'm actually in shock. He's the most over worker we have now. How did this happen? Gained 4 points, 94 up to 98 just this month. I mean, honestly, he hasn't really done anything either. Yeah, that's very confusing. 98 popularity. I don't know. I do not know. Yeah, it is what it is. That's insane, man. I really did not expect that. Anyway, let's get into it, I guess. Please let that be a 100 rated match. It has to be. It literally has to be a 100. Anyway, once again, don't want to mess this up. Let's go all 3 broadcasters for the pay-per-view. Of course, our personal one as well. We got another... Yes, look at that. Doc, once again, got 2 psychology increases there for Chip Martin in one episode. That's insane as well. What is happening? This has actually been a very, very good live stream. Have I asked anyone really old to come out of retirement? Managed to get Rob Oxford. That Battle Royale did him good. I haven't asked anyone. I mean, I don't really know who I would ask. We're expecting... I mean, we must have missed out on so much money for that last show. Because we went in the... wish we went in the Monster Dome. We went into the Olympic Stadium, which obviously isn't great because it's capped at 50,000. Anyway, we'll go to the actual Toronto region, which is going to serve us much better. And we're expecting 64,000 for Warzone. Take a quick sip of water here and we'll get booking. Like I said, if this match does not get a 100, I don't know if we're ever going to get a 100 if this doesn't get it. 98 popularity for all this, 96 popularity for Logan, and they're by far our 2 best workers in the company. I don't know. It's going to be tough if they don't get it. All right. I'm gonna go black screen again real quick for the main event. I'll get it booked nice and quick here. Please, this has to be it. This has to be the 100 rated match. It's eluded us, Mobster. I thought Mobster and Logan were gonna get it. They got a 98. But this is like the ultimate last throw at the 100. I mean, realistically, we shouldn't get the psychology penalty because all this has 85. And I want to say that 85 is probably enough for someone to have the psychology required. Logan, on the other hand, only has 81, but he's actually gone up. Looking at it there real quick. He has gone up to 81. He was 80 before this month. All right, there we go. I've booked it. Almost forgot to put the title on the line. There we go. All right, bring you guys back in. Yeah. Oh, all right. We actually got to put a storyline with it, so it's pretty easy. We'll just take Maddie out of there, and we'll add in Aldous. We'll take him out of the other storyline as well, actually. So remove him from there. Add him in to this one as well. Then we actually have a hot storyline to go along with it, which will be decent. And we'll also do an angle as well. We might actually do 2 angles throughout the show, because obviously we have the time. We can book up to 225 minutes. All right, so let's book the rest of the show. We've got a lot of matches ready for this one. Let's go a fatal 4-way for the women. Kick things off with the women. Let's once again have Erin Gray. We'll have Ellie. We'll have Selena. And we'll have Air Raid Siren as well. 12 minutes, and I think we'll give the win to Erin here, just to sort of bring her back. And Selena can be the loser. And we might even do like a rematch next episode for Selena and Erin. They can kind of go back at it. And we might even give Selena a victory next episode, depending on what we decide to do. We might not, because I really like Erin, and I don't really want her to lose any popularity, if I'm being honest. But that should be a decent opening contest, and I think we'll give Erin, maybe Erin and Ellie. Maybe not. Maybe just Erin. We'll give her an angle again where she can kind of address what happened in her match against Debra Young in the exhibition. Actually, you know what? We'll do Doc and Erin together. Both on entertainment. Of course, Doc is the women's division commissioner, and he'll say that, you know, he wants Erin to go out there and do some good work. All right, up next, we want Davis, and Davis is taken on... Who is he taken on? Oh, Mainstream Hernandez. So that'll be a pretty decent match as well, although Mainstream is in time decline. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but I think we might go 16 minutes for this one. Actually, we can probably go 20. Let's go 20. I think he deserves it. He'll get penalized. Probably not for stamina, but definitely for the declining physical ability. That's a good match, though. That should hopefully get an 85, in my opinion. Just the fact that they're both, you know, super, super talented. And I mean, Davis, you know, he's the GOAT. He's got 86 popularity now as well. All right, what else? I think we don't really have anything for the Mobstar to do we? No. Anyway, let's book the Triple Threat #1. Not the Triple Threat. Triple Threat Canadian title match. And hopefully... Actually, you know what? This probably isn't going to wrap up the storyline, which, you know, isn't great because we've had this one storyline running for, well, at least 3 months now. But we'll go into, I guess, at least one more month of rivalry together. It might not be all 3 of them. It might just be 2 of them from now on. But obviously for this match, we are going to have all 3. We're going to give them 20 minutes as well, because all 3 of these guys are now sort of upper mid-carders. They've definitely progressed from mid-carders up into that upper mid-card level. And going to be an interesting match as well. We are going to have Giant Brodie beat his current tag team partner, Graham Gorman, and become the Canadian champion. And it's going to be decisive. So he is indeed going to actually pin Graham, which is very strange. But at the same time, it was kind of the way I wanted to go with the storyline to begin with. And I believe Graham, he's got a couple of defenses, doesn't he? No, he doesn't. He has 0 defenses. I kind of wanted him... I wanted him to actually have a couple of defenses, so that's unfortunate. But at the same time, I guess it kind of makes sense. Anyway. All right, up next we have Angry Gilmore taking on He's taken on David Stone. There we go. Of course, the promise, 10 minutes. And of course, we have to give it... The fact that Gilmore's willing to put him over for 2 matches, we have to do it. We have to give him the win. But it's going to be a good match, I think. Has to be, really. This one can just be Doc Hammond to Red Agent. Because I think overall it really doesn't matter. Up next, you know what? Let's go a stipulation for this one. We haven't really done a big stipulation match. Originally, I was going to do a sort of TLC match with 4 different tag teams, but I've kind of changed my mind on that. I know I probably shouldn't have changed my mind. Actually, you know what? Did I just do it? I think we'll just do it, to be honest. And then that kind of... it'll throw away 2 other matches that I wanted to do. Because I was supposed to do the LA Stars versus the Puerto Rican boys on WrestleWar, but I decided not to do that. For the tag titles. So I guess we add this match again. And we'll nickname it TLC. I mean, it can be... let's actually call it Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. Alright, so tables, ladders... I guess weapons would be the other one. But it will be item retrieval, so the titles will be above. And that is the only way to actually win. Is there no weapons? No, weapons. Alright. So high prestige, regular, injury risk, average. Probably be average content risk. I don't really want to up the injury risk, although realistically, it would probably be a higher risk. Let's go with it. Let's go with it. I like that. Okay, Fatal 4-Way TLC match. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. So, LA Stars, they're going to be taking on the Puerto Rican boys. Taking on... who was it? It was The Crew. And I think it was Young and Wasted as well. And it's going to be very, very tough for the LA Stars to retain their title. And in saying that, we are indeed going to get new tag team champions. And once again, it's an interesting winner. I say it's interesting because they're our new tag team champions, but they're also 3-time tag team champions now as well. And that is Young and Wasted. Got Ryan Schmidt, been playing a 2010 ROH file. 9 months into the game, finally making money. Yeah, that's good, man. I really enjoy people telling me about their games. I feel like it's just a way to sort of escape your own game a little bit as well. Obviously, 2010 ROH is definitely sounds like a fun save to be playing as well. Alrighty, so there's our Fatal 4-Way TLC match. The tag team titles. What else have we got to do? We've got High Flying Hawaiian taking on Spencer. Not exactly the biggest match on the card, but I would say it's a pretty I would say important. It's an important match in regards to High Flying's career, because obviously I kind of want him to be on the fast track to eventually becoming a main eventer. So I mean that one can go near the start of the show as well. Active Control, good to see you, man. Prize Chris Sabin title run. I mean, I'm a fan of Chris Sabin, definitely a fan of Motor City Machine Guns. So I don't think he would be a bad champion at all, especially for ROH back in 2010. Actually sounds pretty good. I feel like Chris Sabin was kind of underutilized quite a bit, especially in TNA. Obviously, primarily in the X division there, but he definitely could have done some more stuff if they booked him a little bit different. Obviously, he was also heavily involved in the tag team division. All right, what else have we got? We have, yeah, I guess the last one is Forces of Darkness. I guess we're going to do, let's do a handicap match, because obviously Aldis is involved in the main event. So 2-on-3 handicap, and we're going to go for Aussie, Darkstein, and Mutant. They'll be taken on Wall Street Enterprises. Where is Aussie? There he is. And they'll be taken on the Moneymakers and John Greed. Where is he? There he is. All right. Do I want to go for 20 minutes with this one? I probably do. A little bit worried about the time. But I think for this one, I'm going to give Jackpot the victory. I'm going to make Darkstein the loser, which is maybe a little bit controversial, but I kind of feel like it could maybe lead to a storyline just between these two going into next month, between Jackpot and Aussie. I feel like that'll be a decent little storyline as well. Let's chuck that one in between these two singles matches. Make this one the storytelling between Angry and David. And then both Angry Gilmore and Stones are doing too much. So Quincy and Doc. All right, there we go. I think that's pretty much all our matches, really. And it actually looks pretty good. All right, so let's go angles. Obviously, want to have a Logan angle onto Aldis. Want to try and get that storyline just that little bit higher. And if Logan can get another 100, that would be perfect. All right, so we'll chuck that up to, I guess pre-main event would probably be the best place for that. I guess maybe I go with let's go Aldis along with Mutant and Aussie, because obviously Aldis was supposed to be in this. Well, it wasn't supposed to be a handicap match. It was supposed to be a 6-man tag, stable versus stable. But due to the fact that Aldis won the match, won the WrestleWar Battle Royale on that last show, he now finds himself as the number 1 contender in the main event for the Unified World Title. So this is going to advance this storyline. Obviously, Aldis is no longer in the storyline, but kind of needs to be in there anyway. Nikki Bella turned whistleblower on WWE and outed 20 people as drug users. Wow. Nikki Bella. What more can you say, really? Alright, what else are we doing? We need an angle for the GOAT himself, Mr. Davis Wayne Newton. I guess Hernandez can be in there as well. Maybe off-screen as well. Just to advance mainstream versus GOAT. Am I going to use Kavanaugh? Probably should use Kavanaugh because he is kind of our third best road agent. And we're probably going to need him for this show because there is a lot going on in this show. So that'll go there. I think we'll go, yeah, let's go Giant Brodie. Let's go a kilogram angle as well. And I guess this will be Brodie kind of talking to Graham Gorman. And essentially what he'll be doing is he'll be saying, that they'll work together in the hopes of, you know, trying to quote unquote eliminate Gary Walker from the match. Of course, they've been feuding with him for the last 3 months, both of them really. And then we obviously know what's going to happen in that match as well. Could be the end of Kilogram as a tag team. Now, what do I want to do for... Yes, do we just go another LA Star angle? Or do we maybe go everybody? We might go everybody, actually. Let's go LA Stars. Let's go for Papa Swole, Public Enemy. Although having Papa Swole in there, he's probably not going to want a script, which I don't like at all. But who else is involved? Island Boy Apollo. What's the other guy's name? Kid San Juan. And then we have Brett and Taylor. I'm gonna try and rate everybody on entertainment. This angle might absolutely bomb, to be honest, because it is likely going to be unscripted because of Papa Swole. He refuses to be scripted. We'll try it with a script, but he will complain. It's probably going to happen. Anyway, we'll advance one storyline. Doesn't need to advance both. But it probably will anyway, so it doesn't matter. There we go. Unhappiness. Papa Swole. Okay. Here we go. We'll see how it does. I mean, 8 guys, all unscripted, and none of them are really that good at entertainment, so... Yeah, we'll see how it does. We'll see how it does. So that'll go before the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team TLC match. We need the Doc Hammond, the Women's Division Commissioner, and he'll be with Erin Gray. Double entertainment. I might script this one as well, because Erin struggled off script. So we'll do that, and that'll advance the Women's Wrestling in the Coalition storyline as well. And then I guess finally we've got High Flying Hawaiian, or actually no, that's pretty much it. I suppose we have Angry Gilmore, David Stone. No, we'll just give angles to both of them. Let's go both David and Angry together. Guess this can be just backstage before they both come out together. In theory, they would have different, you know, obviously Angry Gilmore would have normal sort of music, entrance music for himself, because he's had a long career in the Coalition. So, and then David Stone might come out to the next-gen music, even though you would assume that Angry would probably come out to the next-gen music as well, considering he is involved in that stable pretty heavily as the deputy. And then I guess we'll finish it off with maybe High Flying Hawaiian. I guess High Flying can maybe be interviewed backstage in maybe a pre-recorded angle. Let's do that. Take Jurian off, and he can be interviewed by our resident Tony Schiavone in Jurian. And I guess we'll just go double entertainment there as well. I guess he can be cutting it about Spencer and the loss that he suffered on the Go Home show. And he'll get a little bit of success from that as well. That will be High Flying to the top. Alright, that is the show. We'll book a little bit of pre-show stuff, but apart from that, I mean, 212 minutes. We've nearly used every minute. You know, only 13 minutes unused. And honestly, I don't really think we need to use it, to be honest. Let's just let's go straight in and book these pre-shows and get involved. So I think I want to go Disciples of Darkness with another victory. They can verse Job Squad. Why not? A nice little pre-show tag, because Disciples of Darkness 5 will be our #1 contenders going forward. Might even give the win to Original Sinner. That's kind of the mood I'm in right now. I think he deserves it. So there's our first pre-show. We'll go another pre-show women's tag maybe as well. Yes, we will. Let's bring up a couple of workers here. We'll go Bernice, bring her up, and then we'll bring up maybe Joella as well. Or maybe Penny. Yeah, we'll go Penny instead, actually. And then they can take on the team of Amy St. James and Debra Young. And yeah, Bernice Bonner and Penny can tag team together on the pre-show. Give Debra the victory. Just want to try and build her momentum up to at least get it to white-hot momentum before next month. Because we will be implementing the women's title. And of course, on the pre-show there. Yeah, I mean, Bernice has real bad stamina, but I'm not really too bothered by it. Okay, there we go. And then one last match. Let's go a 4v4, and let's have Faith No More. Because we're really not using Maddie Faith. And I want to get him on the show so I can actually try and praise him again, get rid of those morale issues. Yeah, I guess he'll be teaming up with Charlie and the Rock City Stars to take on... we'll go Cooper, we'll go Jack, go Jack Pride, Jack Jackson, and maybe Willie LaRue. That seems like a pretty good match, in my opinion. And of course, Maddie... Actually, I should probably check Maddie's... Can we call the match? No, I don't think we can. Probably check Maddie's popularity as well, because he might have gained a bit of popularity as a result of the match. Him losing the match against Logan. I mean, 61. He gained 2 points in that month. Very decent. But I don't... Actually, you know what? Let's try and script it. Sorry, call it, not script it. It doesn't really matter who loses that one either. Okay, never mind. We have Jack Pride in the match, so we will call it. Script it. Oh my god, I keep messing my words up there. But that should be a pretty good pre-show match as well. And I think that's it. I don't think we really need anything else. I mean, Public Enemy's being used far too much. But you know what? Let's just overuse him. I don't really care. I kind of want these things to happen. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take him out. I'm gonna take him out because I want to script this angle right here, and we can't do it with Papa Swollen there. So it actually works out better. Not having those two in the angle. So there we go. I mean, that's a little bit better, to be fair. Then we can script all 6 of these guys. Okay. And there's no overuse penalty either. Alright. I think that's it. Let's run the show. Alright, we start off with a 47 rated pre-show women's tag match where we have Amy St. James and Debra Young defeating Bernice Bonner and Penny Dreadful in 9:41 when Debra Young pinned Bernice with a sit-out powerbomb. And then obviously Debra head and shoulders above everybody else, getting a nice 62 in-ring performance there. And obviously Bernice really struggling, visibly tiring towards the end of the match. I think she has like 25 stamina. So, pretty good reason why she's down in developmental. She's needing a lot of work. Alright, we then go into a really bad match. We get a 36 on the pre-show. Luckily on the pre-show. We have Disciples of Darkness 5 defeating Job Squad in 12:15 when Original Sinner pinned Robin Newman with a chokeslam. Obviously, Robin the weak link in this one as well. Original Sinner with a 40 in-ring performance. And he was once again off his game. Surprise, surprise. Original Sinner being off his game in a match. What an interesting thing to see there. Really, really not interesting at all. Very much expected. All right, we then go into I knew this one was going to be a pretty decent pre-show match. We get a 71. We have Faith No More, of course, all 4 members of our sort of rock and roll stable. Hence the name, Faith No More. Of course, the band name in real life as well. And they defeat Cooper Christie, Jack Jackson, Primetime Jack Pride, and Willie LaRue in 11:55 when Matty Faith pinned Willie with a leap of faith. And yeah, of course, Matty Faith, head and shoulders above everybody else, getting himself an 83 in ring. So, yeah, pretty good. Primetime Jack Pride seemed off his game, but that's also pretty expected. Alrighty, we then kick off the show with a 57 rated angle. A little bit on the low side as well. But we have our Women's Division Commissioner, Doc Hammond. And he basically is involved in a backstage angle where he says Erin Gray is... He was very impressed by Erin Gray, despite her losing the exhibition match against Debra Young on WrestleWar. But he says that she's been given another opportunity tonight in a Fatal 4-Way women's match. And he expects her to do some big things in this match and really, come out of it looking commanding and looking as dominant as she did despite that loss against Debra. The women's match, I mean, it's no 69 like the actual exhibition, but I'll take a 60. 60 is kind of like in my opinion, seems like a pretty high rating. I think 60 is kind of, if we can be hitting 60 for every women's match on the actual main shows, like the TV show or the pay-per-views, I'll be pretty happy. So we have Erin Gray making a pretty big impact, and she defeats her assassin tag team partner, Ellie DeGrazia, and Selena Svelte, and Air Raid Siren in 11:59 when Erin Gray submitted Selena with a guillotine choke. Just a really good match. And again, we get a 60. However, the in-ring performances were a little bit lower. So we definitely, as you can see, there's only one sort of negative in the Red Agent, in the dirt sheet here. And that was actually Selena, who's arguably the most experienced in the match, was inconsistent. Kind of interesting. Maybe it has a little bit to do with her popularity in our region as well. I don't know. But either way, like I said, very, very good women's match. And, Debra's not even involved. And Debra kind of has... I think it's between her and Erin for who has the most popularity. I'm assuming Debra has more because she beat Erin at the last pay-per-view. Anyway, we then move into a 55 rated angle. Of course, we've got the interview here from Jurian Vanderbroek, and he interviews High Flying Hawaiian about his sort of meteoric rise. However, he does bring up the loss on the Go Home show against Spencer Redmond in that Fatal 4-Way. Kind of says that Spencer, he alludes that Spencer might have broken the momentous sort of streak that High Flying Hawaiian had. And High Flying, he kind of agrees. He says, that was a bit of a speed bump in his momentum, in his rise to the top. But he says that tonight, they're going to be one-on-one. It's going to be, an even match. There's going to be no outside involvement from anyone either. And he thinks he has what it takes to get a bit of revenge against Spencer. And of course, this was pre-recorded, and their match is up next. I'm expecting a 75. Close enough. We get a 73. And we do indeed have High Flying Hawaiian getting some revenge, defeating Spencer Redmond in 12:17 by pinfall with a Pacific Crush. And like I said, High Flying was a bit of a speed bump, losing to Spencer. Obviously, it was tainted, so Spencer cheated to win by submission on the go-home show, but Lifeline manages to get himself a little bit of revenge, and it's much needed as he continues his rise to the top. And he'll be a main eventer in a couple of months, I think. About 2 or 3 months. Alrighty, we then go into a 93 rated angle here for Forces of Darkness. And we have Aldous approaching Darkstein and Mutant backstage in their, let's call it a lair for Forces of Darkness. They have this sort of back, basement, creepy, dark area backstage that they all hang out in. However, this time we only have Darkstein, Mutant, and then Aldous approaches them, basically says they're going to be alone tonight. And of course, we had the little bit of foreshadowing about Aussie Darkstein on the WrestleWar show in that Battle Royale, that he didn't really want to lose when it was the final two of Aldous and Aussie. And now Aldous is kind of out for himself. He's got a world or unified world title match. Aussie's a little bit pissed off that it's now, it's gone down to a handicap match where it's just going to be him and Mutant taking on 3 members of Wall Street Enterprises. So again, maybe a little bit more foreshadowing that things maybe are not as, well, I guess Aussie is not as corrupted as maybe Aldous actually thinks he is. Mutant, on the other hand, absolutely loves the fact that he's going to be going against 3 other guys, and kind of relishes the opportunity. He would probably even be happy, with a 3-on-1 handicap. Good stuff though, and it actually advances and gains that storyline a little bit of heat. Although Darkstein did struggle going off script, whereas the other 2 actually did pretty well. That's impressive. We get an 87 rated handicap match where we have Wall Street Enterprises defeating Aussie Darkstein and Mutant in a handicap match in 1938 when Jackpot Jordan in Aussie Darkstein with a cash-in. So Aussie taking the loss. Obviously, we've kind of talked about the foreshadowing. He is not going to be happy that he was sort of left alone by his greatest ally at the moment in Aldous Blackfriar. And as a result, he has lost another match. He was the runner-up in the Battle Royale. Now he's lost to Jackpot Jordan. Obviously, we're going to start a nice little storyline between these two as well. Yeah, look at these in-ring performances, man. We've got an 81 from Mutant, 88 from Aussie, and an 84 there from Jackpot as well. I mean, that's some interesting stuff, man. Jackpot, he would have gotten a decent popularity boost as well. I'm almost tempted to make Jackpot the leader and to maybe swap Jackpot out of the tag team and just have John Greed and Stevie P team up. Could be an interesting idea. Could be. Anyway, we then move into an 87 rated angle where we have David Stone and Angry Gilmore together. And it's essentially the same sort of angle that they've been doing recently. We have David, essentially shaking Angry Gilmore's hand, wishing him the best of luck. And Angry says, I wish you luck too, but I'm going to try and beat you tonight. And you're going to need to give 100%, give it everything you've got to try and beat me. I might be an old man, but I've still got a thing or two left in the tank. And this should be a good match between these two. Okay, we get a 79. That's not terrible. It's also a 10-minute match, so make of that what you will. But we do have David Stone pulling off a bit of an upset, although obviously it's not that much of an upset either, because obviously we kind of knew that Gilmore was going to lose this match due to the promise. But David Stone defeating Angry Gilmore in 9:53 by pinfall, a stone cutter. And we've got a 71 in-ring there for David, and a 66 for Angry Gilmore. Okay, so this was also the storytelling match. So David Stone actually got penalized for holding back, because storytelling can sometimes have that effect. Didn't actually have the effect on Angry Gilmore there, but obviously David's a much younger worker, so it makes sense that he would kind of be affected a little bit. All right, we then go into a 70 rated promo, this time coming from 3 different tag teams. They're all arguing backstage about who's gonna come out victorious in this Fatal 4-Way Tag Team TLC match. And obviously, the crew not involved for obvious reasons. But a 70 is not too bad. I'm really hoping that this will do like a 75 plus for this Fatal 4-Way match. Whoa. That is a very, very good match rating for the tag team division. Get a 79 rated match here, the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team TLC. And we do indeed have Young and Wasted defeating the Puerto Rican Boys, the Crew, and the LA Stars in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. In 12:29, when Brett Kyle retrieved the item, Young and Wasted win the CWC Coalition Tag Team titles. Great stuff. And like I said, 3-time champions now for Young and Wasted. And they're still as impressive as ever, really. Look at their in-rings. We've got a 78 there for Taylor Norton and a 75 there for Brett Kyle. As you can see, the most impressive out of all the tag team competitors. But the LA Stars, 71 for LA Star 2, 68 there for LA Star 1. And we also had a 71 there for Island Boy Apollo. All in all, some really good ratings. Really good, and overall, a 79's very, very decent. Hopefully that'll actually improve the tag team title prestige a little bit as well. Just take a quick sip of water here. Alrighty. We then move into a kilogram angle together. Of course, Giant Brodie and Graham Gorman. They're in a triple threat match for Graham's Canadian title up next. Gets a 69. And we have Giant Brodie sort of reassuring Graham Gorman, his tag team partner, that they're going to work together. Try and eliminate. Obviously, they can't really eliminate Gary Walker from the match. They're going to work together, try and keep Gary out of the match as much as possible, and then go at it against or amongst themselves. And kind of see who the better man is. And who will become or who will retain the Canadian title. That match also does pretty well, getting a 77. And we have Giant Brodie defeating Graham Gorman and Gary Walker in 20 minutes, 29 seconds, when Giant Brodie pinned Graham Gorman with a single-handed chokeslam. Giant Brodie winning the CWC Canadian title from his tag team partner. Pinning the current champion Graham Gorman and winning the belt for himself. Like I said, could essentially lead to the splitting up of Kilogram. But a very good match. 77's pretty solid. We've got a 74 for Graham, 72 for Brodie, and another 74 there for Gary Walker, who didn't really have that much of a role to play in this triple threat, because he was literally just getting eliminated every time he tried to get in the ring by Graham and Giant Brodie. So he was kind of almost shut out to a certain extent. Doesn't really feel like he got the proper opportunity to get his hands back on his... he's the former champion. Get his hands back on his former title. Alrighty, we then go into an 82. Really bad promo here from Davis Wayne Newton, unfortunately. The GOAT not being very goatly, if you will. And, yeah. Cuts a promo onto Mainstream Hernandez. But as you can see, he did not do well without a script to follow. Kind of unfortunate there from Davis. But he does do that sometimes, especially back in the day. Some of his angles were not so good. But The match should be pretty good, hopefully. That's a good match. I'm very happy with that. Even though Mainstream Hernandez only has 60 popularity, we get a 93 rated match here. That's why he's the GOAT. That's why Davis Wayne Newton is the GOAT. He's managed to carry Mainstream Hernandez, who is in Time Decline as well, to a 93. That's impressive, man. Really impressive. And we do indeed have the GOAT, Davis Wayne Newton, defeating Mainstream Hernandez in 1940 by submission with an STF. What more can you say? A 94 in-ring there from Davis. He manages to pull off a 94. 93, sorry, with his 94 in-ring. I just hope that the main event is going to do a 100 and beat this match. If it doesn't, it's going to be a letdown. But I have faith. I have Maddie faith, if you will, that it's going to be a 100. I just feel something. The fact that we're live streaming on Twitch right now, you know, you guys are going to probably be watching on YouTube later on as well. It's got to be the 100. It's got to be a 100 rated match on Warzone as well, which is arguably, you know, our sort of WrestleMania in regards to our pay-per-views. Alrighty, we go into a 100 rated angle just before the main event. Imagine that match in Mainstream. Yeah, Mainstream's prime. Ooh, that would be a good match. I mean, I could see that match. If he had maybe 80 popularity, it would probably be like a 97, 98 around there. Even in Time Decline, if he just had, you know, 20 points more popularity. But then you throw in the prime as well. Boy, oh boy, that would have been a decent match for sure. Yeah, it was definitely the GOAT carrying that one. Right, so we have Logan. He says that him and Aldis, you know, they've met before. He knows exactly what to expect from Aldis Blackfire. But he kind of sees that Aldis is probably not going to have any backup tonight because he alludes to the fact that Aussie doesn't really seem to be very happy with Aldis at the moment. So doesn't expect, you know, Aussie to come out and run any sort of interference in the match. And then Mutant was also beat earlier in the pay-per-view. So he doesn't really expect either of them to come out and lend a hand for Aldis tonight. So kind of alludes to the fact that Aldis is all alone. And it will essentially be just a one-on-one match between the two. I mean, what more can I say? A 100 rated angle from Logan Wolfsbane. And it does actually gain the storyline even more heat. So that's perfect. This is it. The moment of truth. Please be a 100 rated main event. I need it bad, man. The series, you've all been patient. Like I said, this is episode 63. Can we do it? Can we do it on live stream as well? Would be the perfect opportunity. Perfect moment. Here we go. Oh, so close yet again, man. And this time it's Lee Bambino. No, we are so close. Oh. 98 again. I can't believe it. It's literally Lee Bambino. Get a 98 rated main event, 2 points away from the elusive 100. At least a 99 would have been better, because then we would have had our best ever match. I'm hoping, I mean, based on alphabetical order, I don't think this one's actually going to beat Mobstar versus Logan. Oh, it's so unfortunate. I just took Lee Bambino off announcing for this show. Damn it. Anyway, we have Logan Wolfsbane defeating Aldis Blackfire in 20 minutes and 19 seconds by submission with a Boston Crab. And we have Logan Wolfsbane making defense number 3 of the CWC Unified World title. I can't believe it. I thought that was it. I literally thought that was going to be it. Bloody Lee Bambino. ruining the match. It was the only penalty, man. Oh, no. I can't believe it. Yeah, OMG. Oh, my God. Oh, I feel so dirty. Lee Bambino. I'm taking him off. Oh, no. That was it. That was it. That was the 100. Oh, I can't believe we haven't done it. Yeah, that's true, Clay. If Lee wasn't there, but I think, yeah, we might have actually, you might be right. We might have dropped down back to low experience. We can have a look after we finish here. Still a great match. Yeah, you're exactly right. Still tied for our best ever match as well. But I want that 100 so bad. And we were so close, man. Oh, it's so frustrating. But I still love these guys together. Got a 98 in-ring there from Logan and a 97 from Aldis. And hopefully, I mean, as a result of this match, I mean, Logan might be even higher in popularity. I mean, Aldis could nearly be 100 popularity. He was already 98 coming into this match. He might have lost a little bit, though. Potentially. Anyway, finish the show. A 96 rated show. Oh my God. At least that's the best ever show we've run. And it's Warzone as well. Of all shows and of all times, at least on live stream here on the Twitch channel, we've managed to get our best ever show. And it is indeed Warzone. I mean, to be fair, looking at it, it definitely is our best ever show on paper. I mean, we got the 87 for the handicap match. We got a 73 in there. We even had the 60, which is it's a little bit low, but it's for the women as well. 79 there for Gilmore and David Stone. 79 there for the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team TLC title match. Pretty solid 77 as well for the mid-card title, being the Canadian Championship. A 93 is very, very decent for Davis and Hernandez. And then the 98, so close to the 100 for our main event. As you can see, does increase popularity in 24 regions. So we might have actually got the increase in Ontario. Very interesting. Anyway, Maddie Faith going to be praised. We'll go with Giant Brodie, I think, needed it still as well. And then either Dace or Stan Manor. I might go with Dace just to make sure we get rid of those morale issues, because the double praise should essentially get rid of that and prevent that from being a problem. Yeah, I could have done Mighty, but you know what? It's Mighty Kavanaugh. Who cares? I'm not a fan of him anymore by any stretch of the imagination. So, I mean, he's just down to, you know, regular morale issues at the moment. You know, we did get rid of those serious morale issues. Oh, but a 98 rated main event again. And it was Lee Bambino. The only negative was his announcing. But still, a 96 rated pay-per-view. I mean, even that's getting close to 100 as well, man. That's up there. That's up there. It's gonna be hard to beat. But surely, if we do indeed get that 100, I'm assuming that'll lead to a better overall show. Viewing figures, we got a 3.5 TV rating and a pay-per-view buy rate of 0.73. So that's up quite a bit. Didn't we just get like a, wasn't it 0.6 for WrestleWar? Oh, maybe not. I guess it was a bit higher. Yeah, 0. It was lower. How does that work? How is it lower? I guess because, oh, actually, yeah, it was lower. I don't understand that. A 96 rated show compared to an 88. Very strange. Anyway. Actually, maybe it was because we had more people in attendance. Now that I think about it, that actually kind of does make sense. More people were actually, you know, we had 14,500 more people at the actual pay-per-view as opposed to maybe watching on pay-per-view at home. So it kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. And now Princeton has big morale issues now. What is going on? I guess he's pissed off at being left off both shows, but he's injured. Can he not complain? I know he can work through it, but still. Come on, Princeton. Grow up, mate. Grow up. Alrighty. Size. We are indeed up to 87 popularity in Ontario. 83 in Quebec. 81 Manitoba. And we're up to 69 in Saskatchewan as well. Only 8 points away from having 77. And then we're only 13 points away for Alberta as well. We are literally on the fast track going up to big size. And I mean, honestly, once we go up to big, we probably won't be too far off going up to large either. Because we've got a decent amount of popularity in the US. And I'm thinking, is it 2 regions around the world? It might be. We can also actually get I probably should have got the pay-per-view broadcaster deal set up for Mexico, but I guess we can do that now as well. Actually, we can do it next episode, because next episode we'll have to work out the TV situation as well. But let's advance one day. Actually, never mind. We're already on to Monday. And last month, we made 4.6 million. We have 4.6 million in the bank profit from the month of July. And the developmental actually made 112,000 as well. So we actually made a decent amount of profit. About $30,000 profit from our developmental. I like that. That's not too bad. Anyway, let's check the most important things. Let's go to Logan. Actually, we'll start with Aldous. So he lost 1 point of popularity. That's okay. He's at 97. As long as Logan gained, I'm perfectly fine with a 97. He lost 1 point from a 98 going into that match. But that's fine. Logan, oh my god. There we go. 99 popularity in Ontario. 1 point away from a 100. That is insane. That is why we spent the big bucks bringing this guy in. It was our most expensive signing. $150,000 per month. And back in the day when we signed him from TCW, after they signed him from us when we were we small or tiny? I can't even remember. But put him on a 10-year contract, and it's also ironclad, so he'll never ask for a pay rise, despite being 99 popularity. Absolutely insane. Super happy with him. Anyway, let's check Davis, who's back up to 87, which is good, because it's looking pretty likely that Davis is going to be our next sort of #1 contender, our next opponent to go against Logan for the Unified World title. Got Giant Brodie up to 73 popularity as well now, which is very good, even though he is still irritated, which is very frustrating. But yeah, up 4 points from last month as well, and our new CWC Canadian champion. And the final person I want to check is Jackpot Jordan. He's now also up to a decent level, 72 popularity. And he's up 6 points this month. So that was a big win over Aussie Darkstein, who's now up to 86 popularity. Wait, what? He also gained 6 points of popularity. Oh, we could have some interesting stuff coming up, man. Really interesting stuff. I definitely like where the series is going, man. This has obviously been a really special episode. I think I will do a few more of these in the future. Hopefully the time of day is not too bad to be live streaming this, but honestly, I couldn't think of a better way than for us to have our best ever show by 3 points as well. 93 for Unholy Alliance 5 was our previous best show. And we've absolutely smashed that with a 96. Now, if you guys are watching on YouTube later, you missed the live stream, please smash a like on the video. And of course, head over to the Twitch channel. The link will be in the description down below. And make sure you give the Twitch channel a follow, because we'll be live streaming some more TEW. We'll maybe do these sort of local to global live episodes maybe once a week, potentially. But we'll also be doing other TEW content. I think I want to do a real world series on Twitch. Might be uploaded to YouTube, but maybe not. I might keep it purely on Twitch in order to... I want to try and grow Twitch is what I'm trying to do. And I felt like this was a good initial way to bring back TEW to the Twitch channel. I've also been playing Call of Duty over on the Twitch channel as well. Honestly, I don't really have any viewers for Call of Duty. And of course, I know you guys want to watch TEW over on, well, obviously on the YouTube channel, but maybe also over on the Twitch channel as well, where you can kind of, give me suggestions. Of course, we've had quite a few people. I want to give a few shout outs in the chat. Of course, we've had SimClay coming in clutch with a Prime subscription as well. But we had Tyler No Shoes, Galaplex, Reese on Wrestling, JD9903, of course the main man SimClay. We also had Ryan Schmidt, Active Control, and all those boys have, they've come in, enjoyed themselves hopefully, and most of them have given me some good suggestions, and of course just been chatting to me, which is what exactly you guys can do if you want to join for these live streams in the future. Anyways, guys, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Notifications turned on. Apart from that, guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, take it easy, and goodbye.